series of Dirk DeCosta's make or break season, off season. Good evening, flock. Good evening, family. How is everyone doing on this Tuesday evening? I hope you all can hear me okay. So I got a little frustrated. Before the stream started, I was setting up my camera to use as a webcam, and it just decided, no, not tonight. I'm not going to work. And I got frustrated. I got upset. And I was like, you know what? Nope, I'm going to stream anyway. So it's all good. So thank you all so much for joining, and we're just going to talk about what John Harbaugh and EDC had to say. And as you can tell by the thumbnail, I want to hear from you. I want to know, did you take away from this presser any valuable nuggets of wisdom in terms of what direction the Ravens are headed? We'll dive right in. But before we do that, let me say hello to those who have joined in the chat. We have Brandon Bazel, B Square. Good evening. Thank you for coming by. We also have in the house, Dewan 100. Let's go. Come on, let's go, Ravens. We need to make some moves. We need to do something. We got too many people who are excited for this upcoming season. Don't let us down, Ravens. If you're watching, we appreciate it, but don't let us down. I'm glad you're doing great, B Squared. Take care of yourself. I don't know if you're on the road or if you're at home, but if you're traveling, be safe out there. We have Maud Nisha C. Good evening. Good evening. Also joining us tonight, we have Brandon, aka Arkansas 501. How are you this evening? Look, we are not going to mince words tonight, because we are only going to be here for about half hour. That's because Mr. Galloway, that is MISTERR Galloway, will be streaming tonight at 8 o'clock. And so if you don't want the party to end right at 8 o'clock, you don't have to. Head right on over to Mr. Galloway's channel, where he's going to give you all things hip hop, especially that old school. Let's talk about what John Harbaugh and EDC had to say. Pardon my voice. I don't know where it went over the weekend, the last couple of days. It's just kind of hither and thither. So bear with me if I don't sound like my normal self. We're going to get there, okay? Just pray for me. Today's press conference was a pre-draft press conference that they have every year. And I know a lot of content creators call it the liar's luncheon, and rightfully so, because I think it's an opportunity for the leadership, Harbaugh and EDC, to kind of throw people off their trail. Other teams kind of won't know exactly what they're doing, but we as fans who study the team, study patterns, study history, kind of have an idea in terms of what we heard today and what it means. So let's talk about it. EDC was asked, and we're not going to get into everything because it was a very lengthy press conference. And if we get into everything, we'll be here until thy kingdom come. But we'll hit on the major points, and then feel free to leave a comment. If you are watching this on replay, let me know what you think. And the big question is, what did you take away from this? Do you have any direction in terms of where we're going as a team moving into the next year, next season? EDC was asked about, draft. And we are pick number right now, pick number 30 and pick number 62. And EDC said the draft board will be pretty much set by this coming Saturday. They anticipate having a good idea of who they plan to draft at 30 and 61. And yesterday from like 9 a.m. to 6 p.m., they spent the entire day kind of going through, talking about the biggest elephant in the room, the offensive line. And he was also asked about the outside linebacker. Okay, we just re-signed Kyle Van Noy, but we don't have any other veterans on the roster right now other than Kyle. Van Noy. And because he is a little older, I think he's about 33. Fact check me in the chat if I'm wrong on his age, but I believe he's 33. I think he just had a birthday last month. And they were asking about him, like, what do you think? He said he's excited to have Van Noy back, but he believes that the young guys will reach their potential. They have seen glimpses of, you know, flashes of greatness from these players, specifically Odafe Owe and David Ojabo. Those were the two names that were kind of like highly mentioned. And I'm going to say this now. You all are going to have to give me a pass. You're going to have to pardon me tonight because I'm going to get on my soapbox a little bit when we start talking about Odafe Owe, because a question came out shortly after that in terms of drafting an edge player. And EDC said, this year's class of edge is just average, nothing spectacular, but just average. And he said it would be great to have additional picks. Okay, well, I started thinking in that point, what are they going to ask next? And surely enough, the question came out, well, EDC, are you considering, picking up fifth year options for players such as Rashad Bateman and Odafe Owe? Hold on a second now, wait now. He said Odafe Owe. And I was listening intently for that answer, really, because I wanted to hear, like, okay, is he going to give a clue? Like, is he thinking about trading Odafe Owe to get some more picks? Like, what's the plan? Now, not that I really believe that I would get a clear answer, but I wanted to hear what he had to say. He said, we're about a month away from that decision in terms of whether we're going to pick up Bateman or Odafe Owe's fifth year option. Okay, we'll have more to talk about, or we'll have more on that after the draft. So instantly, what came to my mind is a couple of years ago, I know I was watching the draft, and when we traded away Hollywood Brown out of, for me, nowhere, I was shocked. I was like, oh gosh, this hit me like a ton of bricks. I would have never, if you would have asked me the night before the draft, Yolanda, what's the likelihood of us trading away Hollywood Brown and not having a replacement right now? I would say, oh gosh, Hollywood Brown is Lamar Jackson's security blanket next to Mark Andrews. There's no way they're trading him. Well, I was wrong. So in my mind, Odafe Owe, your job here at the Ravens isn't safe. These Ravens love draft picks. We only have a handful of draft picks right now. So you know me. I'm going to be listening, notifications turned on. What's happening? What are we doing? What is the plan for picking up Odafe Owe's fifth year option? I'm concerned too about Bateman. I want to talk about that too. But in terms of like where my mind was immediately this afternoon, I was focused on Odafe Owe. We have Tanja Bowman with us tonight. Good evening. Thank you for joining. Mr. Galloway, good evening. I just told everyone, I don't know if you were here, but I told everyone, look, we are only going to be here for 30 minutes, and 9 of those minutes are already gone. See, and I only got through point number 1, and I have like 15 points. I don't know if we're going to get through them all today, but we're going to try. I just told everyone, if you don't want the party to stop right at 8 o'clock, you don't have to. Go ahead, head on over to Mr. Galloway's channel, Mr. MISTRR Galloway, and listen to him and Hendo from the Rogue Pod tell you all things hip hop, especially old school. Tracy, good to see you virtually. I'm glad you're here. Thank you very much. I will keep up the great work. I will. And you know what? And thank you for the compliment about my hair. That's very sweet. It's one of those things where it's like, is it, ladies, you understand, is it a good hair day or not? And men, you might understand too. You might, but it's one of those things where doing content creation, as I'm just now getting started, it's fun because of you. It's fun because you guys interact with me. You all make me laugh. You all have such great insight. You all are a spirited, respectful bunch, and it's just a joy. So I love to just come on here and talk with you guys because you guys make it interesting. We also have with us tonight the Hawk TV. I'm listening to one of the best Ravens content creators. Oh gosh, Don't make me just tear up here. Thank you. Thank you so much. It means a lot. It really does. I don't even really have words to describe how much you all coming by to support me. It really does mean a lot. So thank you. Back to what I was saying about, oh, you all know I'm watching, but I move on. Let me move on. Because my question is for you all in the chat and for those watching on replay, do you think the plan is to trade Odafe Owe and not pick up his 5th-year option? Same can be asked about Bateman. What are your thoughts? I'd like to know. You know mine. I hope they don't do that with Owe because I'll be very upset. And I think I'll have a 2-hour stream if they do that. I might just have to because I'll need to come on here and have a therapy session and just vent if that happens. John Harbaugh was asked about offensive line, and he said he's excited because we have a group of guys who are going to be in the building on Monday competing for starting positions, roster spots. And from what he's heard and what he's seen, he's really impressed and he's looking forward to it. We'll see. I mean, you all know I've said it before. In terms of O line, we have a lot of work to do. We have a lot of work to do. And whatever the strategy is, I just want the focus to be get the best player who can protect Lamar. Get the best player who can provide and build that wall of protection for him. Because no matter how great Lamar is, and yes, you all know I'm Team Lamar, no matter how great he is, if he does not have the requisite help, i.e., O line, receivers, running back, if he does not tight ends, if he doesn't have that, he's only as good as what the offensive line will allow him to be. He's going to be severely limited. So if we are interested in tapping into Lamar's full potential, then Harbaugh, I know you have your eyes set on these gentlemen who are coming into the room for who'll be in the gym on Monday, but please don't stop there. Let's have a plan B just in case plan A doesn't work. DaCosta was also asked about Voorhees. DaCosta said it just made sense to him to draft Andrew Voorhees last year. This one kind of stumped me. It made sense to draft a player who had a proven track record of injuries, a player who injured himself, right before we drafted him. And to me, I'm thinking it made sense to you. I didn't follow that logic, but obviously they know more than I do in terms of building, this championship caliber level team. So I'm going to defer to them and we will see if Andrew Voorhees is ready this year. We always have to consider if there is a setback. When a player has an injury, if there is a setback, and that setback might not manifest right now. That setback might not even manifest when training camp starts, mini camp. That setback, and I'm not speaking this into existence, it might happen during a preseason game or in real time when the season begins. So we need to be cautious and we need to be methodical in terms of we want Andrew Voorhees, we believe in him, we're hoping for the best, but if he is not ready, we definitely have another viable option. Good evening. We have the Rogue Pod visiting with us tonight in the building. Thank you for coming by. I hope you're doing well. Another topic that was asked or question was asked about cornerback. And EDC said that this cornerback room is just okay. It's not spectacular. It's just, it's okay. He wouldn't mind drafting a corner for depth purposes somewhere in the draft. He didn't give an indication, but for me, when I heard cornerback, my ears perked up immediately because if we talk about history, and my grandfather always said, past experiences inspire future confidence. That means what you've done in the past is kind of what I'm going to believe you're going to do now because that's what you've shown me. When you show me who you are, I'm going to believe you. And we just, as an organization, seem to love the defense, especially our corners. And I do believe that cornerback depth is needed because injuries have been a thing. They've been a real thing at the position of corner. But please, Ravens, if you all are watching, do not draft a cornerback on pick 30 or pick 62 We have more pressing needs. I said it already, the O line. And then once you get that solidified, don't stop there. Look at wide receivers. This is a wide receiver O line heavy class. Do something. And I'm going to leave it right there. When asked about special teams, Eric DeCosta said that there are some skilled guys in the draft, especially in terms of like punt returner, which is a huge part of their style of play. And he said that internally that they've talked about it, and he believes that for punt returner and special teams that they will be in good shape coming come September. I just got a lot of questions. Okay, I got question marks. This is a question right here that really kind of made me think, and I said, I don't know if this one is correct. So this next question was for John Harbaugh. And he said, in terms of wide receiver, in terms of O-line, in terms of your offense, kind of like, where are you? And Harbaugh said, we will take the best player available. How many times have we heard that as Ravens fans? We'll take the best player available. Do we believe it? Okay. But what Harbaugh said was Lamar has not weighed in yet, but he will. This was a little inconsistent with his statements that he made at the press conference about 3 weeks ago, after when he it was about 3 weeks ago, and sometime in March. He said, and I have my little handy dandy notepad from 3 weeks ago. His statement was Lamar will be a big part of the architecture moving forward for this offense. He said that he and Lamar had agreed on a few guys, although Lamar had not weighed in on O-line. So according to John Harbaugh, a few weeks ago, he and Lamar had kind of agreed on a couple of players, but as of today, he said Lamar had not weighed in yet. I'll leave that right there and let you do with it what you will. Trenton Simpson was mentioned. They talked about the inside linebacker. And EDC said that inside linebacker Trenton Simpson has greatly improved. But he does understand that there needs to be depth in that position. And perhaps, he'll look into it second, third, or fourth round. So I wouldn't be surprised if they consider inside linebacker at some point for purposes of depth. But that could have been a decoy, right? That, this is why we call it liar's luncheon. We don't really know, but that could have been a decoy for for the Ravens to really focus on the big, pressing, glaringly obvious needs, that being offensive line at multiple positions on offensive line, as well as we still need to address wide receiver, I think. So we'll see what happens with linebacker. I'm not too confident that they'll take an inside linebacker in this draft, but EDC said, hey, there's some depth there, or there's some room for depth. In terms of running back, now this one caught my attention because once we signed Derrick Henry, I thought to myself, okay, are we done? Is this it? Or will there be more? EDC said, there's probably a pretty strong chance that we'll draft a running back at some point in the draft. Okay. I don't know how to read that. I don't know what that means. Does that really mean that they're going to pick a running back this year in the draft? Or was that another, smoke and mirrors? I don't know. We'll see. But it is a position where I do think we need some additional help. I don't think it's okay, nor is it right, nor is it wise to put a heavy load on Derrick Henry, especially given, all that we know about him, his age. So we really need to take that into consideration. Do not shoulder the entire load to Derrick Henry and then expect miracles, and then we'll be sorely disappointed when, it doesn't pan out. But I do think he's still going to be a wonderful player, but we need to have a rotation. We need to have some type of rotation there. And this next question, it was a good one. Someone asked, after the loss in the AFC Championship, you guys were right there. EDC was asked if he was going to go all in this year. And his response was classic, prepared answer. He said, either you're all in or you're all out, in my opinion. I'm all in every year. Well, okay. All right. Okay. I disagree with that statement, and here's why. If you were all in, and if you were all in every year, like you said, that's your profession. That's what you've professed out here in this ether that you are all in. If that be true, then I think we as Ravens fans would have seen a number one true wide receiver for Lamar prior to this being his sixth year in the league. And we still have a question mark whether that's going to happen now. So when you say you're all in, to me, all in means I'm going to start with my quarterback. I'm going to build around him. I'm going to shore up other loose ends. I'm going to concentrate whatever I have remaining on my defense. And we're going to be a complete team because I am all in. Because that didn't happen. And we're still now, since 2018, and here we are in 2024, we're still looking for that number one true wide receiver, and we haven't seen him, haven't found him yet. Are we going to get him this year? I don't know. So to me, the absence of that doesn't quite mean that you have been all in. Again, that doesn't mean that it's not, but we'll still need to wait to see. Wait a minute. Always definitely. Let me just move on from that comment from the Rogue Pod. Over here causing trouble tonight. Holy Bro, thank you for coming. He said, Harbaugh plays injured players. It did not work with Stanley. This is my point. Yes, you said it better than I could. Drafted Bateman when he was injured. My worry is more about the head coach. Ooh, we're going to talk about that. And we only have 8 more minutes left, y'all. I got to go because I got a lot to talk about. But yes, I'm absolutely with you, Holy Bro, because one of the points I have here in my notes is, do we think that this coaching staff, this current leadership and this coaching staff is equipped to take whatever talent we acquire in this offseason and in the draft? Do you think that this current front office is the right personnel to get us over that hump? And that's kind of like my final question. But since you brought it up here, I just go ahead and ask it now. Should be able to find healthy offensive players. We should. We should. And I hope we can. I do. I hope so. Dewan said facts. Harbaugh is not telling the truth. He's lying as usual. Oh, gosh, yeah. I hate to even agree with you, but I have to agree because when you're right, you're right. Hi, Jose. Thank you for coming by. This is Jose from Lunch Break Hot Take. This is one half of Lunch Break Hot Take. He and his brother, Brodney, have a show every Wednesday night at 7:15 p.m. Eastern Time. So please make sure you are subscribed. I know you guys are. And you all are also subscribed to Brandon Bozell. He has his own channel. We also have Hendo from the Rogue Pod. Subscribe to his channel. I already told you to go over at 8 o'clock. We only got 6 minutes. We on the clock. We got to go 6 minutes because you have to head over to Mr. Galloway's channel and learn and get like familiar with all things hip hop, that old school. They're going to hook you up. EDC, he said he doesn't know if the team will do a lot over the next few weeks. And this statement to me was telling, if it's true, okay? If that statement is true, it told me a lot about where the Ravens stand. Are they going to make any more moves in free agency? I don't know. I'm going to go on a limb and say, yes, they will make 1, possibly 2. And I think that's it. The rest, I believe they're going to address in the draft. And closer to the time of preseason, much like it was last year when we got, Clowney, Van Noy. I think we got Van Noy like a couple of games into the season. But I think that mentality of let's just wait. Let's not make any moves right now. Let's just wait and hold off, and we'll see whatever is remaining. We'll go and check out the bargain rack, and then whatever they have there, we'll figure out kind of where we can plug and play those players, right? That's what I think is going to happen. Um, Last thing I want to talk about, Harbaugh said, we're going to have a heck of a team next year. You wait, you watch. I'm going to hold him to this. I did a video earlier, or maybe last month. Yeah, it was last month. And it said accountability matters. I haven't deviated from that because accountability really does matter. And I'm going to hold Harbaugh to that. He said this is going to be one heck of a team, which segues into Holy Bro's question. Even if we have a heck of a team, even if we have a roster that is outstanding, remarkable, do we have the correct personnel to elevate that team, that roster that we've constructed? Do we have the right personnel in place to ensure that we don't just get stuck in another rut, i.e., lose embarrassingly at an AFC championship at home at the bank? But I move on. Okay, I can't keep bringing this up now. Okay, I got to let it go at some point, but I'm not really ready to let that go just yet. Do we think that we have the correct personnel in place to ensure that we're going to have a heck of a team? Not just that we've put players in these positions, and even if they are great, because I do think Kyle Van Noy was an excellent pickup. I do think Jadeveon Clowney, excellent signing. But what if we don't get that lucky again? And then, even if we do stumble upon some really great players, can this current coaching staff get us there? Let me know. Let me know what you think. If you're watching on replay, thank you for joining. Thank you for stopping in. Please let us know. We'd love to hear from you. Do you think that Harbaugh and all of the coaches are going to be able to make good on his word? They said it's going to be a heck of a team. It's going to be a great season for us, and he's excited. I'm going to hold him to it. I'm going to hold him accountable. Yes, thank you, moderator Nisha C. Please hit that like and subscribe button. Do that on your way out because we are getting out of here in a couple minutes. But that's all I have. But before I go, last question. Did you get any clarity from today's presser? Or did you walk away with more questions than you had answers? For me, I didn't really get much clarity just because I don't think that this type of press conference is designed for that, especially in the weeks preceding the NFL draft. To show your hand and to let everyone else know what your strategy is would be unwise. So I'm not upset by it. It just lets me know there's nothing I can do but wait. There's nothing I can do but continue to wait. And we'll see how it works out in the draft. I just know if Odafe Oweh's name is put out there in the draft as a trade bait, come right back here to Ravens Talk with Yolanda because we're going to have a lot to talk about. Thank you all again for joining. That's all I have. I just wanted to come on real quick, hear from you, share my thoughts. Let's wait, flock. Family, let's just keep waiting. We're closer to the draft. Hopefully we make some moves. You already know what I'm thinking. We need to do some stuff. We need to make some moves. I don't want to be stuck again like we were last year. I felt stuck. Thank you, Holy Bro. I appreciate it. You like my honesty and knowledge of the game. Hey, I'm just learning, and I'm here as a Ravens fan just to kind of share whatever thoughts I have, and I welcome yours as well. This is a safe space. We might not always agree, but one thing we're always going to do is be respectful, and I appreciate you all for doing just that. That's it for today's stream. We will be back really soon to talk about what do you think we need to see in the draft to call it a success. That's what I want to talk about the next time. And if you have draft picks that you're watching, not picks, but draft prospects that you're watching, we'll talk about it in the next stream, and we'll put our heads together and send over a little list, package it up real nice, send it in the email to the Ravens and let them know, hey, we've already done the homework for you. Just draft who we told you to. All right. Well, you guys take care. You stay safe. Oh, and before I get out of here, I have to say thank you, Tanja. I have to say hello to Professor Smith. Thank you for coming by. And Professor Smith says his dream is that 5 years from now, there'll be a press conference where I'll be announced as a new general manager for the franchise. I'm telling you, oh goodness, that would be great, right? Yeah. And I'd take all of you all with me. We would all be the new general managers. We'd all do this together because I couldn't do it by myself. Well, anyway, you guys take care, stay safe. I'll see you soon. Go Ravens. God bless.